This
Started.
conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Thursday, June 11th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So an interesting morning. We've been seeing a ton of selling, and it looks like finally, some things have probably pretty much, I wouldn't say hit the fan yet, because there's a lot more selling towards the lows than we've really seen the moves, but it looks like we're going back towards where most of the higher prints are going. So let's talk about a few shorter term things first, and WAFU. So this is an interesting one because it's trading very consolidated already, but it's really going to be a hit or miss. And the reason I say that is just because the personality, when you see this consolidated trading that goes through these cheaper stocks, I mean, a lot of the times, just from experience, they either go to like 20 and then just really shoot up, or we end up getting that kiss of death that comes in. So if we take a look, coming up into that 10 level for, after we, the first move that we made was way too early. But if you look at the volume during that time period, it really was very high for what the personality really is. And then we come back up, and as we were coming into that 10 level, you can see we got a bunch of ask prints that did not really pull back from. And there's just new buying that's coming in. There's not that much selling. So I'm very interested to see. I have a feeling that we're going to end up seeing this thing kind of crashed back down below that 10 level before we really see them start to build and really make a move back towards that upside. I don't have the prints to warrant it yet. But at the same time, I really feel that we're going to be able to hit that double top as long as we continue to see this buying coming in and not really have any type of bigger selling there. All right. But overall, if I had to draw the chart, I would draw it pretty much, right, almost towards that 8 level rate, right towards this support level right here, and then be looking for a trigger back towards that upside. I just wish, the earlier prints that we had, it's not going to let me show it here, but the earlier prints, I wish we had a lot more buying coming towards the top. The only thing is that when a stock is parabolic, a lot of the times we're not going to be able to see those bigger prints coming in, but there was a bunch there. And once again, volume at 7 o'clock being, over 75,000. That's a big deal. So really like what I see going on there. It's really just going to be, a matter of, do we get anything coming out of it, or do they just end up giving it that kiss of death? Because like I said, there's just not that many prints that really have to make money that they showed us, besides, those smaller prints that were coming in. What did All right, next looking is mRNA. So I'd love to see this thing moving in the pre-market. I don't have a great show of hand yet. We could go back over pretty much towards 8 o'clock, and you can see 64, a little bit of selling. It's just not that much there yet. But the fact that it's moving, there's already almost 1.4 million shares in volume coming in. This is just a very easy trading stock. Probably one of my favorites over the past few months. So. Really just looking for that show of hand, but we know that based off its average of 452 yesterday, it only moved $2.12, so we can really expect a lot bigger range than we typically would see. Overall, it's gonna have to give us that show of hand. Otherwise, there's really nothing coming in. But it's gonna be almost guaranteed based off of the amount of volume that we already see coming into there. We're going to end up getting that. So HHT, this is another one where coming up to that 150, the volume was absolutely phenomenal, and we had great buying underneath the 150 level, but I just didn't see enough controlling prints that were coming in there for me really to get that excited about, coming back. You can see it's okay, but with a cheap stock like this, I really like to see building that's coming in, and I haven't seen much of it at all coming in this morning. So we're definitely getting buying there, but in order for us to really be able to push in even to this double top and then be able to push past that, I'm going to need to see a lot more. So that's why it's going to be on our side list. We have NK. So NK is just continuously just jumping, and it doesn't take a lot of prints for this thing to really move. We can see based off of just the range that we have from 6 all the way up to that 850. But overall, coming into that 8 level, you can see we didn't really get any prints that are there, but overall, there's just nothing but bigger buying coming up there. So I'm going to assume, based off of these ask prints that we have, that we're going to take a pretty big dip, once the market, or we get closer to the market open, and then a trigger back to satisfy these prints is exactly what I'm going to be looking for. And then JFIN, this is kind of a sideless stock. So you try to get shares. Unfortunately, this morning, there's not a ton that are available pretty much anywhere, but overall, this thing just shows us that the range is absolutely huge and it really can move. So even based off of just a ton of selling that comes into it, and not really getting selling underneath that 5 and popping back up, it's going to definitely be a shorter term type trade, but there's just so much room for it. So a few prints, once again, are going to go a very long way. You can see just like that. I mean, there's not enough selling that's coming underneath that 5 level. You can see the riders that are coming back into it. So that's the type. I'm going to be looking for very short-term prints coming into this. I'm not going to be expecting, huge moves. Well, I'm technically, based off the range, I am going to be expecting huge moves, but I'm not going to be expecting them to last that long. So really going to have to follow those bigger prints coming in. And once again, just like everything else, kind of need a better show of hand. Now, one other thing, I'm not going to put it on our list, but definitely something to pay attention to is Dow. Right before we started our meeting, you can see right here, 2650 at 9 o'clock. A beautiful show of hand compared to basically everything that we've seen going on out there. Now, I've been looking at the other airlines, CCL, the cruise ships, and everything else. This is one of the best show of hands that we do have here. So once again, I'm going to be expecting kind of test this trigger coming back towards that upside, and then going to be looking for a trigger down to be able to satisfy this. Happened at 9 o'clock, so I don't expect it to take that long into the morning for it to be, for it to really come into fruition. And other than that, just very interesting. If we take a look at BA, remember that selling that we had at 225? Well, coming down into that 175 level. I'm going to be watching this a lot today. This is another one where it's a nice, easy trade. When it really gives a show of hand, it typically moves just very, very well. So going to keep an eye on it. I'm not going to put it on our list. It's, an everyday stock. We better trade it every single day. But when it shows something big, guys, it typically does exactly what it shows, and that's exactly what we have here. Rich, you get all your shares? No, it was very, very hard this morning. So I got shares in a bunch of things, but it took a very long time. We're talking about pretty much from a little bit after 8 up until almost 9 o'clock is when I really started getting most of it to show. But I do have shares of a bunch of different stuff, and I'm going to keep trying as we get into 9. So hopefully we'll get we'll be able to get a little bit more. So Oxy, this another one. Remember 21 yesterday, 21 over and over and over and over and over again. It basically, almost all this stuff was showing us that this move up is just not real. There's so much selling towards those downsides. So, overall, right this second, for a trade right now, it's just too mixed. I don't have anything that's that great. 18, we're already 40 cents away from it. So 1750 is really going to give us a lot of information. Watch the order that comes in at 1750, and then also look at for the reaction at that point. All right, guys. Anything else out there that I missed? Anything else? So Genius, I've been looking at it all morning. I don't see anything that's that interesting, to be honest with you. It's sitting in this consolidation. Yeah, is it going to be a trade? Probably, but this 3 level that came in, it's just there's you got 22.8 million shares. So I just haven't seen anything that really jumps out that I'm going to be paying attention to. It's definitely worth putting on your list, but I don't see anything there that's really jumping out that says this is this is something I should focus on going right into the morning. And then IVR, yes, from yesterday, just a huge amount of selling. Obviously, took a pretty big hit, 540 down. But yeah, actually, that's a really nice based off print personality. Yeah, no, that's some really nice selling coming into that 4. So definitely IVR. That's not even a sideless stock either. That's just a normal stock with prints. All right, guys, so let's get ready for our morning. As we talked about yesterday in Traders Exchange, let's make sure that we're focusing on the patterns of our trading every single day. Let's do something that makes our trading even better today than it was yesterday. I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.